course, I'm going to do a prospect preview today. So the profile today is Tyson Foerster. Tyson Foerster, a center, 6'1", 194 pounds. And you have to think that some team that's got extra draft picks, like Montreal has extra draft picks in the second round, might say, you know what? Yeah, sure. Now, depending on who you trust when it comes to where he's going to end up, Hockey Prospect has him at number 30. Central Scouting has him at 21st among North American skaters. Elite Prospects has him at 36. Bob McKenzie has him at 29. So what is it about this kid? Well, there's a lot of good things, but there's that giant red flag when it comes to Tyson Foerster. It is that one item that will decide whether he plays in the National Hockey League or not, and it is the reason why I think he falls to one of the draft picks Montreal has in the second round rather than going in the first, despite his standing. 2018-2019, playing for Barrie, 10 goals, 13 assists, 23 points. Playing for Barrie again this year, 62 games, 36 goals, 44 assists, 80 points. Fantastic output this year. But, and that's where the asterisks start to come in. Now his strengths, teamwork, puck handling, passing, and agility. In this case, what agility is talking about is his ability to move in close and move his way out of trouble. But a lot of his points were against weaker teams. So he played in a weak division. Barrie was in a weak division this year, and a lot of the points he put up were against teams like Niagara, who were one of the weaker teams in the league. And that's a red flag, the other one being his skating. So almost every report I read on Tyson says, boy, if his skating was better, everything's great, and then you get to his skating and it's just ugly. Toffoli, not known as a fantastic fleet-of-foot skater, was seen as being better at this stage of his development than what we've seen with Tyson so far. So that's an example. But of course, Toffoli became an NHL player, so maybe Foerster can follow and do the same. So his skating definitely needs improvement. He's going to need to work on that a lot. And the question being, at 6'1", 194 pounds, are we already looking at a player who's already got his bad habits with his skating and maybe it'll never get to that NHL level? Or we're looking at a guy who gets drafted and 5-10 years from now we're saying, well, he never made it. So he's very smart on the ice, and that's why he's still ranked in the first round. He's very smart and anticipates the play very well. He can look around on the ice and go, I should be here because if I'm here, I've got a good chance of getting a goal. The 36 he has being an example of him figuring this out quickly. And so he has that. He has those smarts on the ice. He has those items in his game that make scouts and a GM somewhere say, you know what? He's worth it. He's a good player. One of the better shots in his draft class. He has an excellent shot. And so the shooting is there. The passing's pretty solid as well, as 44 assists would attest to. Everything's there. The upside is great, but so is that risk. So there will be a team, probably late in the first round, who look at him, and they say the offense is there, everything looks great, but the skating. And then they're going to have to make a decision based on that. So again, it's for that reason that I could see him sliding out of the first round. Because we look at his overall numbers and we say, well, yeah, he should get drafted late in the first round. But there will be a GM that says, yeah, the offense. But this other kid can really skate like the wind. So he's the center. And again, we'll see how things work out. Scouting reports. This one says, don't put him on your list. I want to steal him in the second round. The idea, again, of he will slide into the second round because of his skating, so just let that happen, and then whoever drafts him is going to look like a genius afterwards. Shot is top 3 in his class, says another scout, and that says a lot right there. Again, it's going to depend on which GM is drafting. So if you have a St. Louis Blues drafting, they may look at all of his numbers and go, yeah, he's pretty good. But we're pretty good at depth with forwards. We're looking at a defenseman. You may have another team that maybe needs a forward that says, yeah, we'll overlook his skating. So again, it's going to depend on who's drafting where. All power play production and he can't skate. Those are two pretty large red flags. And that's from another scout as well. That there was not enough 5-on-5, and that came up in another scouting report as well. They'd like to see more production 5-on-5. Very good on the power play, scored a lot against weaker teams, and his skating is definitely an issue. But with that shot, with his ability to play on the power play, And with the amount of upside, does he end up being a surprise to go in the end of that first round, or does he start to slide? We will see guys rise or slide, and again, as we get closer to the draft and once we get into October and the draft is upon us, I'm going to go through and do my best to try to navigate it and figure out who might be risers and fallers, and this might be one of those guys who ends up falling. But we'll see, right? Because again, it's tough to figure out when these kids are 17, 18, 19, who's going to be great when they're 27, 28, and 29. And that's kind of what you're trying to do as a scout, and then as the GM on draft day, you're trying to make that decision. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video, and hey, here's hoping Tyson works out, makes it to the NHL, and we get to see that shot against NHL level goaltenders. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.